Hi guys, Andrew Davidson here, and welcome back to another As Per My Ability video. If you like what we do here at As Per My Ability, if you like our content, if you like our videos, if you like board games in general, show us some love, comment, like, subscribe, make sure you hit the bell for notifications so that you can get notifications when we post new videos. I hear that if you hit the bell, you get 7 years. Good luck. And I think at this point in all of our lives, we all could use some good luck. So it's worth a shot. Let's move into the video for today. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys and bring you a little bit behind the scenes of this video. I'm really nervous about this video, and I'll tell you why. I did not do any outlining for this video. I didn't write down any notes. I didn't organize anything in my head. This is what you would consider stream of consciousness, set up the camera, hit record, and ramble about a game. And this game is incredibly innovative and different, and so I'm going to try my best to keep this somewhat brief and more importantly, cohesive. And so the game that I'm talking about today, it's been out for a couple of years. It's called The Seventh Continent. And it says there on the side, The Seventh Continent. I have, full disclosure, I have not completed any of the 3 scenarios that The Seventh Continent provides. The Seventh Continent is a narrative survival game in which you are an explorer who has discovered the 7th continent, and you have now returned. It's like the 1920s, or like turn of the century, 19th century, or 20th century, I mean. You have returned home, and you just don't feel very well. You're not eating, you're feeling sick most of the time, you can't sleep, you're having nightmares about the 7th continent, and you realize you've been cursed. And so the game basically says you need to go back to the 7th continent to explore it, to try to get rid of the curse that the island or the continent has given you. And that's where the game starts. It is a exploration game. A lot of the island, well, I shouldn't say a lot, the entire island is made up of cards that as you explore, you will be placing out cards to make the map bigger and bigger and bigger. And so instead of using a board and stickers or things like that, the 7th Continent designers have designed this huge system of card trays. And so I've always kind of joked about the 7th Continent being like the Dewey Decimal System, the game, because you're constantly going in and looking for, okay, card 437. So you're doing one of these things, 47. Okay, pull that one. Oh, we also need card 128. Okay, over here, 128. And it felt, for the older generation like myself, it felt a lot like the old file Dewey Decimal System where you have to like flip through and find certain numbers. That's the setup that they use for you to kind of explore the game. The game is cooperative. You play with another player or other players. It plays up to 4. I have played this game 90% solo. It's a really good solo game because it moves at your own pace. I have played with 2 players, myself and another person. That's great as well. I have not played the 7th Continent with 3 or 4 players. I just would not really feel inclined to do so. When it comes to these story exploration games, I feel that it's better if the less people, like, it just feels like it moves quicker. And that's the way that the 7th Continent is. 7th Continent is a story-driven game where you will be going and exploring these cards and making different choices, coming across weird, strange things on the island, trying to stay alive. It's got a little bit of a Robinson Crusoe effect because it is a survival game. You do get damaged, you do get bitten by snakes, you do run out of food, you do starve. But then it's also kind of part Lost. Lost meaning the TV show, where it's like there's weird stuff going on. There's some puzzle aspects to it, although the puzzle aspects are very minimal. You can run across some parts where you'll be looking at cards and really trying to figure out a puzzle, like maybe a word type thing, to figure out how to go in the right way. As I said, the box comes with 3 curses, so against 3 scenarios that you can do. The Voracious Goddess is the one that the designers recommend people starting off with. That is the one that I've played through the most, although I have dabbled in a couple of the others just to see how the setup goes and how the island looks, or where it takes you. But you're going to be coming across a lot of crazy encounters and a lot of crazy things. You will die. In this game, I experienced a rather Oregon Trail moment where there was a river that I had the option to just kind of wait or go around or just go a different way. Or it said, oh, you could try to swim it. There are skill tests, I should say. This is not just a total storytelling game. There are some skill tests that you do by flipping over cards and seeing how many results, successes you get. Kind of like the Lord of the Rings adventure game, Journeys of Middle-earth. You flip over cards and see how many successes, and you can get things on the island, and you can craft things. So if you get wood and rope and another card, you can make a raft. I didn't have any of those things, so I decided to swim, and it just was like, yeah, it's too strong for you. You ended up being like washed out and drowning because I tried to swim across this like little basic river on the continent. So you will probably die from starvation. You will probably die from drowning. You will probably die. So this isn't really a game that you can just sit down and master in one turn. You will die and kind of reset or respawn. The game basically says when you die, you reset the whole game. For those of you that know me, I'm really strongly against that. I think, yes, you should maybe go back to like your last save point, so to speak, a checkpoint, but I really think it's counterintuitive for game designers to say, tear down our whole game, everything you've explored. And it's huge. I've set up quite a big map of exploration and stuff. Could take up the whole table. And now it's like you have to pick up all the cards, put them all back, and kind of like start back on your original card. I really don't like that. That would be a big con against this game. But pretty much the only con. Another minor con is just the joking Dewey Decimal System part, where you're constantly, that can get a little tedious, especially if you're going to sit and play for a long time. But on the pros, the game basically can just play however much you want. You can play for 30 minutes, save the game, and come back and pick up, save it again, come back and like pick up. There's really no sitting down and having to play until you either win or lose, because you will have to probably put in 40 hours of exploring, maybe less, but a lot of hours of exploring the 7th continent in order to find how you can get rid of your curse and get to that final card that says like your curse is gone, you've won the game. Honestly, I don't know what it says because I've never put in all the time to complete, but it is something on a bucket list. I do plan on getting 7th Continent to the table at some point when I'm not busy with other games and playing it. The reason why I'm talking about it today and why I'm being so stupid and just setting it up and rambling about it is because of the story aspect. For those of you that don't know, a lot of you guys know this by now, any game that's got a real good thematic, theme and story to it, I like to talk about. I like to get on camera and talk about. Even if it's not a story-driven game, such as Abomination, the Heir of Frankenstein, which is essentially a Euro game, worker placement Euro game, but it's got a real strong theme that makes the whole game feel kind of like a story. And yes, there are some things that you read out of the book that provide narrative at certain parts during the game. This one, on the other hand, the 7th Continent, is not necessarily I take my turn, you take your turn, I take my turn. Everyone kind of does things simultaneously, exploring out, dealing with, like I said, there are skill checks involved, whether if you live or die, whether if you successfully make that jump across the canyon or something, or the ridge, or whether if you don't, or things like that, you will be The cool thing about it, like I said before, and I'm going to hit it again, is you can find a lot of stuff on the island and make things out of it. And then it says, like, once you have this, 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 and this, you can pull card 68 and you can build, like, hey, we have a raft. So now we can go around, like, the water and things like that. That's just like an idea of some of the things you can craft. There's also weapons that you can make if you find the right things. You will come across a lot of weirdness. Like I said, it's kind of akin to the television program Lost, of just weird things on this mysterious seventh continent. So, what do you think? Does anyone else play the seventh continent? Has anyone else played this? Have you finished it? What is it that you liked about it? How long did it take you to finish? Comment below. Let me know what you thought of your experience with the seventh continent. So that's going to be it for me for this video. I'll end it there so I don't start repeating myself over and over. But it was great to see you. Once again, my name is Andrew Davidson, and I will see you all at the next video. Thanks for watching.